And hello there, boys and girls. Welcome to today's United Kingdom Talk, programme number 301, approximately. Yeah, we're not quite sure the exact... Can you believe Saturday's show, two things went wrong in Saturday's show. Those of you that watched the show will know, of course, there was no video. Something went wrong with the video. But much worse than that... Well, I want to put some air... It's quite warm in here today. But worse than that, can you believe I forgot the programme's birthday? I can't believe it. There I was last week going on and on. Well, not on and on so much, but people were reminding me, kind, nice people were reminding me that the last show was the 300th. Now, we say 300th. It's approximately 300. There is actually more than that. But we reckon that it's quite close to 300. It will be more than 300, but we celebrated the 300th show on Saturday, except we didn't celebrate. There was nothing. Not even a passing mention, was there? Completely left my head. I told you, I have got a mind like a sieve, so I'm sorry about that. But we can't do belated birthdays, not for the show. If you have a belated birthday, I'm only too happy to sing you happy birthday. But for me, no. I must take the punishment. I must hit myself now for forgetting that. Some people pay people to do that, you know, to hit them. Oh, it doesn't matter. Yes, we cannot celebrate it. We can't. We've missed it. That's it. I'm sorry, we've missed it. No happy birthday, United Kingdom Talk. We're going to have to wait for... Well, that's the thing. What one do we wait for? I think we should wait for programme number 500. And Lord, pray that I am still here for number 500. I intend to be here for number 5,000. And if we get to programme number 50,000, then I think we might be having a bit of a party for that one. So sorry about that. Last Saturday, no video, no birthday. Don't know what went wrong with the video. And the birthday, well, as I say, mind like a sieve. So all those people that reminded me that it was happening and it just left my head. Apologies. I am sorry. Now, there is an email address to the show, which is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. We did get a couple of emails in for the birthday. Oh, you know what's going to happen? Two. Come on, where's the other one? There you are, see? 3 sneezes. Isn't that funny? Didn't happen on the last show. Happened on the 2 before. I keep sneezing at the beginning of the show. What's going on there? I don't know. Don't know. Anyway, so lots to talk about today. Mainly emails again. Lots of emails have come in. I wrote lists and lists of things to talk to you about today, and we're not going to have it, I'm afraid. But, I mean, as for the birthday, I mean, what did you expect? Fireworks? Cakes? It's not the end of the Beijing Olympics, dear. It's just little old me with my tiny little United Kingdom Talk podcast and video celebrating with you. Just a little thing. Not like the Beijing Olympics. Yes, that's what we could have. For show number 5,000. What do you reckon? Fireworks in the garden. I can just see it. Can you imagine it? It'd be me going downstairs with my little mobile video camera and lighting a sparkler or one Catherine wheel on the tree. And we could watch that go around. And that could be the celebrations for the next... Well, maybe birthday number 500. Do you think we should celebrate 400 as we didn't celebrate 300? What do you reckon? Anyway, email address to the show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. So, not a very memorable birthday. Do you have any memorable birthdays you want to tell me about? Is there a birthday in particular that you celebrated recently or years ago maybe that you want to share with all of us? Something that made that birthday very, very special. How about sharing it with us? On the email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. It could be any sort of birthday. It could be the birthday where you were a young child and received perhaps something very special, some special gift that you've treasured all these years. Or maybe it's the birthday that you celebrated, I don't know, with people before they passed away. Anything at all. Why was that birthday memorable to you? Huh? let me know. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I mean, I had some really very memorable birthdays. And the funny thing is, I think as we get into our teen years, we become less grateful of those birthdays that our mum and dad or whoever looks after us really make an effort to try and make special for us. As someone little, I suppose it's all about getting that present in it. Come on, let's be honest. When you're 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever, that sort of age, birthdays are all about getting a really nice birthday present, aren't they? Come on, don't lie to me. As you go through your teens, I've found, I'm speaking from experience here, as you go through your teens and mum and dad say to you, well, I was like this anyway, mum and say, oh, you coming round for your birthday present? And you're thinking, oh, I really don't want to be there for my birthday. And I certainly remember my mum and dad going to so much effort for myself and, of course, my sister's birthdays. And always dad would get this beautiful cake. My dad used to work for the Evening Standard, which was in Fleet Street at the time. And quite near him, there was a cake shop, and I made the most fantastic cakes, which I've spoken about on the show, probably over a year ago now we spoke about that. But some fantastic cakes he used to bring home for myself and my sister's birthday as well. But as I got older, when I say teens, I mean late teens, 18, 19, through your 20s, and certainly when I moved out of home, and on birthdays, mum and dad, or mum would ring up and say, are you coming round for your cake and that? And you'd I'd think to myself, oh God, I've got to go round there and they're going to sing happy birthday. And it's all very embarrassing. But what I would give to be able to do that again, not possible once they've gone. And I've said to you before, when your parents go, all those little things you did as someone younger come back to slap you around the face. Why? Why was I so ungrateful? Are you the same? And so much effort made. So much effort made by them to make your birthday happy. I don't know. I don't know what it's all about, really. It's funny, and you get older, and then you appreciate it. Perhaps when it's too late? Or is it a case of better late than never, I wonder? Let me know about your birthdays. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. That's the address. After Dad died, I did go up to my mum's every year and I think take her a cake or something like that. It was only 4 years in between when the pair of them died. But yeah, always took a cake. What about you? Come on, tell me about your memorable birthdays. Another memorable birthday I had was in one of the places I worked. One of the pubs where I did a 70s and 80s night. And on this particular birthday, I think it was my 32nd birthday. And it was made really special. I mean, the pub was packed. We were doing, as I say, a 70s and 80s night. Hugely successful at that time. It was rammed in there. I mean, if you were at one end of the pub and you wanted to go to the toilet, you'd experience a good 5 minutes trying to get through the crowds. It really was that busy. And I remember on my birthday, and a big cake was made by a friend of mine called Paul. And it was covered in cream and chocolate, what are those chocolate matchstick things all over it. Oh, it was delicious. Absolutely, well, I say delicious. At the time, I had a bit of an eating disorder. A little bit like I have now, but I'm not so bad now. I was scared to eat anything in case I put weight on. Honestly, that's how it was now. Now, I often, as you know, moan on the show now about me being a little bit overweight, but I'm nowhere near as bad as I was then. I was scared to eat anything. And this beautiful cake, all covered in cream and the chocolate bits and all that, and I don't think I ate any of it. Scared to eat it, but that was a special birthday when you got like 350 people there singing happy birthday to you, and it was fantastic. Fantastic. But does it compare to the birthdays with mum and dad? Probably not now. It did at the time, but now, no, not at all. Funny, innit? Tell me your experiences. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, we've got a lot of emails. Before we do the emails, can I just close this door? 1 second, I'm going to close the door. Because, oh, hang on, I've got something in the way. Right. Go on, leave all my washing on the floor all over the place. 1 minute, 1 minute. 1 minute now. Close that window. Now where's my remote control thing? That's it. Sit down, pull my trousers up. I do look rather scruffy down below, don't I? With my shorts on and that. Well, you can't see that bit, you see. I don't, so I don't bother. God knows what the readers wear under the desk. You know all these famous newsreaders, whatever country you're in, I'm sure you've got a newsreader that's famous. Oh, I think one of my favourite newsreaders of all time, she was reading the news on SBS, a satellite station in Australia. And I spoke about her, again, must be over a year ago. Can't remember what her name was now, but she was of Asian appearance or Chinese appearance, and she had the most marvellous hairdos and clothing that she wore. Well, I can't think what her name was now. Does anyone remember her? Is she still reading the news on SBS? Yeah, fantastic. Right, so we finished the other show with part of one of Suko's emails, and she was talking about China. And she was saying, most Chinese people are very proud and work very hard for what little they have. Well, that was obvious, Suko, how proud they are from their attitude towards the Olympics. Just fantastic. What a lovely, lovely friend. My friend's been to China as well, Carl. I did work for him for a while when I was DJing at a place in Oxford a couple of years ago. It was about a year and a half, 2 years ago now. And he's been to China. And he says they are the most friendly people you could ever come across. Really, really nice people. Now, I'm going to keep... when you see me... By the way, if you're a new viewer to the programme, if you've never watched it before, then now and again, you'll see me put my hand up to my mouth like this. And I'm either coughing or clearing my throat, but you can't actually hear it. We've had a complaint about that, but that's later on. Later on, from what I would have considered a friend, to be honest. I mean, we've had a couple of bits and pieces coming on the phone from friends this week. I shall come to those in a minute, dear. Don't worry, don't worry. Sometimes I wonder if you write things, dear friend, you know, just to upset me, but there we are. Our experiences, Suko said, have always been positive. And to walk on the Great Wall of China to visit the Forbidden City, the Temple of Heaven, and the Summer Palace, among other ancient sites, to visit a panda sanctuary, to see the Chinese acrobats or Beijing opera. Well, it's just awesome. And, you know, it is awesome, isn't it, to do these things. You know, to actually go back and say, I walked on the Great Wall of China. It's a little bit like me when I go to New York. I have been up the Empire State Building. It just... I can't explain it, you know, to say something. Oh, yes, I've been up the Empire State Building. Oh, have you really? It's only a block of flats, isn't it? That's all it is. It's a block of flats, dear. A few offices going up, and you make such a big thing about going up the thing. Isn't it? And it's like people when they come to Buckingham Palace. It's only someone's house. What's so special about Buckingham Palace? It's just someone's house, isn't it? That's all it is, dear. And yet, to go back home after a holiday and say, yes, we went to see Buckingham Palace. Did you really? It's only a building. It's all it is, a few bricks thrown together for my friend down the road to live in. But we do have to do these things. When I say, when I was in Australia and doing the jogging, and I say to you, there were many days on my trip to Australia that I jogged around the Sydney Opera House. Doesn't that sound spectacular? I jogged around Sydney Harbour, round the Opera House and back to where I was staying. And it sounds good, doesn't it? But basically all I did was run round a theatre. That's it. Run round a theatre. What's so special about that, eh? Have you done anything special like that? That actually once you've done it, you kind of think to yourself, well, what was all that about? I know people here in the UK that have gone to see the Houses of Parliament and Big Ben, and I said to them after they'd seen it, you know, people on holiday when the Golden Lion was open, we often used to get some tourists in there. And they'd say, well, you know, we went to see Big Ben and sort of thought, what's all this about? I can see what you mean. It's just something to do, isn't it, really? What have you seen? Anything particular like that you want to share with us? Let me know. Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Suko says China is becoming more and more modern each time we visit, but it's still like no other place we've ever seen. To be honest, we visited Versailles in Central America a few years ago, and that was the poorest country we have ever been to. More so than China, we thought. Where is Belize? Did I say Versailles? Sorry, Belize. Where is that? I know you say Central America. I'm not quite sure where that is. I've got a map on the wall there. Oh, I don't know where that is. I'm just having a look at the map. Not quite sure. No idea where at all that is. And Suko says, but the people there were so friendly and sweet. We had the loveliest tour guide. This is in Belize. The loveliest tour guide who accompanied us. And when we did a traverse over the rainforest on zip lines. What are zip lines? I don't know what they are. She says, and when we did a traverse over the rainforest on zip lines, the fellows that helped gear us up and prepare us to fly from tree to tree could not have been nicer and more reassuring. I definitely would love to visit there again and do it all over again. It was exhilarating. I'm sure it was, my darling. Eh? You got any photos of that you can send through, Suko? We like to see the photos, dear. Thank you very much for those. Suko is one of the people that sent me 300th birthday wishes. And before I forgot, she, you know, obviously she sent me the email before the birthday, and before I forgot to mention it, I replied to her and said, how did you know it was a 300th birthday? And Suko wrote, how did I know it was your 300th show, you ask? Because as your personal assistant and public relations person, it is my job to know these things. Actually, she said, I downloaded the podcasts via Zencast Organizer and it keeps track on how many shows have been podcast. Fair enough. Are you cheating, dear? Perhaps, here's an idea, Suko. Have you got bedposts? Okay. Now, you may have to obviously explain to Jerry why you're going to do this, but what you could do is mark the bedpost with each show that I've done. What do you think of that? I mean, I started marking my bedpost for other reasons, and I actually ran out of post. I'm only joking. I've got bedposts. You're having a laugh, aren't you? Now, there's a lesson for anyone talking about beds. Always spend as much money as you can afford on a bed. Yes, always. I've got my bed is about, must be over 10 years old now. It is the most comfortable bed ever, I tell you. But it was expensive. I spent quite a lot. It was about £800, shall we say $1,600 about 10 years ago. But here we are, 10 years on. Very, very comfortable. I did have a bed once, bought to me as a present. And this bed was just over £100, $200. Well, within 6 months, I had to throw the thing out. All the springs started, you know, the springs in the bed. Every time I turn, because I kind of sleep, I sleep on my front. Do you? Who sleeps on their front? Or your side? What do you sleep on, eh? I sleep on my front usually, like that. Stretched, I've got a big double bedder. Stretched out like that. Okay, head down like that on the pillow. But with the cheap bed, the springs were pushing up my ribs, dear. They were trying to enter my ribs. I woke up one morning, there was a big hole in my chest. So that bed had to go, and I got this expensive one that, as I say, I've had not 100 years, I've had 10 years. My advice is always spend as much money as you possibly can afford purchasing a bed, my darlings, all right? Now, Suko says, as for the wig I made you, which is clearly displayed on the wall behind me, I have Suko's wig. Do you want me to wear it today? Hang on. Oh no, I can't now because it's what's it? Gun stapled on the wall. I suppose if I could you don't want me to wear that today. I wore it the other time. Carl in Yorkshire actually rung me up and he says, it's about time you got your hair cut. He didn't realise it was the wig. He thought my hair had grown. What an idiot. Didn't you, Carl? He says, Suko says, as for the wig I made you, you most definitely should wear it to work. I think it takes about 6 months off your appearance, and let's face it, oh, blimey, let me go and get it off the wall. 1 minute. Oh, my hat's gone there. My hat's fallen down. Let me put my wig on. Hang on. I've got to take the staple out now because there we are. That's it. Because we are thinking of wearing this at work now. I'm not quite sure. I think that's the bit at the front. We're not quite sure what's the front and what's the back here. Let me just... I've got a... There we are. That's it. I've got a new monitor next to me on the right. I've got 2 monitors. Oh, it's very studio-like in here now, dear. I've got a new monitor on my right there, which today I don't seem to be able to get the right lighting right with this video stuff at all. Today I appear to have a bit of a green tinge. On Thursday's show I was pink. There we are. See? See, you'd never know that was a wig, would you? And I was mentioning a couple of shows ago that I should wear this to work and just see if anyone says anything. Can you just imagine it? Oh, it'd be hilarious. Walking past all these people, right? And you'd notice that they start looking at you. But I just wonder if any of them would actually say anything. I've got to do this at some point. I really have. He says, Suko says, I think it takes about six months off your appearance. And let's face it, at our age, we'll take what we can get. Well, I beg your pardon, Suko. What do you mean I'll take what I can get? Oh, you're not wrong there, actually. Trouble is, it's not getting any. No one's chatting me up at all. What can you do? One has to wait. I'm waiting. That's what I'm doing. I'm waiting like a spider in its parlour, waiting to attack. Yes. Besides, if you can expose your corny toes at work, you can wear a wig, says Suko. And don't be afraid that it falls off. The corns fell off, didn't they? Were you embarrassed about that? No. Well, there you go. No, I wasn't embarrassed at all. I actually pulled it off my foot, didn't I? It's all gone. Those corn plasters are marvellous. They only took about 3 days to work. Now, Suko says, tell Justin, do you remember Justin? Yeah, he's the one that runs the steam coach where I work on Friday nights. Recently been to New York. Had food poisoning while he was there from mussels. Oh, he hasn't actually got mussels. You know, the ones that you eat. He'll never have mussels, believe me. Tell Justin that I'm sorry I didn't know he was here in New York sick from mussels. If only I had known. I could have bought him up some chicken soup or something. I didn't know you were Jewish. Are you Jewish, Suko? I thought you were Roman candle, the same as me, dear. Are you Jewish, dear? You're not Jewish, are you? Because the Jewish people, the Jewish mothers, always good at making chicken soup and stuff like that when their children are ill. I've got some very, very good Jewish friends. Lovely, lovely race of people. Lovely people. Next time one of your friends comes to New York, tell them that they can look me up. She says, not up and down, just up. So not like this. You know how you look at someone when you're sizing them up like this? You know, when you look at... Your eyes go up and down, don't they? Like that. Can you do it? Do it to me. Look me up and down now. Go on, look me up and down. No, you don't have to be able to see me. Just close your eyes and imagine me there and then look me up and down. Open your eyes, pretend I'm in front of you and look me up and down. You ready? Like that. Any friend of yours, Suko says, is a friend of mine. Ah, there goes my delusions of grandeur again. Of course, Suko. And any friend of yours is a friend of mine, my darling. As for all my wig's coming off, dear. 1 minute, it's moved. You see, that's the danger, isn't it? What if I'm doing... I'm going to put that... It's like a mirror in front of me there, but it's with the... It's not really... When you look at a mirror, everything's the other way round, isn't it? Well, on a computer monitor, it's as it is. So it's difficult. If I move left, then it moves the other way. So I've got... There we are. That's better. Is that better now? I do quite like... Where's the back look? Is the back all right? I'm not quite sure if the back's all right or not. As for your increased poundage, Suko says, don't worry about it. It's only those homosexual friends of yours that find it appalling. You're right. You are absolutely right. And Joe was right in the last show as well. Joe has noted that I haven't had a cold or anything wrong with me for months now since putting on the weight. Huh? Yeah? And you are right. It is only my gay friends that mention it. Not a single straight person has mentioned it. Not one. Not my sister, not any of her family up there, no one I know around here, no one, even in the gym or the swimming pool. No one ever mentions your weight. You go into a gay club, that's it, mate. You get told I'll probably be told 3 times now, oh, you've put a bit of weight on. What's all that about? Why are we... And I'm just as bad. Why am I obsessed by this extra weight? Why? She says, all your hetero and... what a hobosexual? What's that hobosexual? I know what that is. All your hetero and homosexual friends think you look just fine. Don't worry, be happy. Oh, I like that song. Don't worry. Who was that? Bobby McFerrin? Was it sung that one? Don't worry, be happy, and eat to your heart's content. Just don't overdo it, Suko says. Love from your dear friend, Suko. Thank you, Suko. And I absolutely agree with you, Suko. I'm going to take my wig off now because I'm getting quite hot underneath this. Thank you. Oh, we love it all, don't we? Actually, last night, you say don't overdo it. I did overdo it last night. I was a little bit... bored at work to put a better thing on it. It was all right, but unfortunately in one place I had 3 bags of Frazzles, but they're only small. They're only little bags, and they're like a corn snack. It was made to taste like bacon. There's no pigs anywhere near it. It just tastes like that, doesn't it? So I had 3 bags of Frazzles, followed by 2 bags of cheese and onion crisps. So and a few of those Ritz biscuits. How many of those? 10, 15? Well, they're only little, aren't they? Trouble is, and they're very light. You put your hand in your box and you just pull out a load. So I was a little bit naughty last night, Suko. All right, thank you for the emails, my darling. And then just before I recorded this show, actually, I emailed Suko to say I'd forgotten that. Sorry, the last show that I'd forgotten after I recorded the show. Sorry, after I recorded show number 300, I realised that I'd forgotten that it was 300. So I emailed Suko. I said, "You're not going to believe this. I forgot it was the 300th show." And she says, "Oh my God, how could you forget?" And she says, "Well, I will personally be celebrating that day with my Diet Coke, of course. Anyway, congratulations. It's quite an accomplishment. And the show has grown, and so have you." Pardon? What do you mean by that? I know that, dear. I don't need people to remind... Are you sure? Hang on a minute, Suko. That's the first time you've mentioned that I've increased in weight. You're not turning the other way, are you? I don't want you finding one of those little gay clubs that I work in, dear. Hold on to your husband. It's a better life, believe me. Don't worry. She says, I have to admit to putting on a few pounds soon too. That's from Suko. Thank you, Suko. Always a pleasure to hear from you. Funny you mentioned Diet Coke there. I had one of those this week as well. No, I didn't buy one. I had one free. Free of charge. I went to get a couple of... because I've been butch this week. I have been butch, boys and girls. I have managed... Are you ready? Shock horror. I have managed to change 2 light bulbs on the car. Yes. Now, I know that sounds stupid. But on a little car, bulbs seem to be placed in the most inaccessible places that you could ever imagine. I mean, you really need a young child to get a young child and say, could you change that bulb? I mean, there were young children walking past with their mums. They were. Can I borrow your child, please? I need to change a bulb. I should have just done that. Can you change? I would have given them a couple of quid. Well, maybe not a couple of quid, eh? bag of crisps. That way. Can I borrow that child to put my bulb in, please? Actually, that's an idea. When I go up north again to visit my sister, I might get Jimmy, my 11-year-old nephew, to change all the bulbs in the car just in case. What do you reckon? Because he'd be able to. It was what was it? It was a side light, and the hole for the bulb is kind of behind where you put the water in. And you like this, and then you've got to twist it. Oh, you see, they do that, don't they? Because they know it's hard to do. And they want you to book your car in for half an hour, because they charge you half an hour for that, wouldn't they? Or quarter of an hour. And you say to them, well, why is that a quarter of an hour to do that? When you know damn well it's only like 10 seconds to do. Or we can only charge by the quarter of an hour. What, so you've rounded up? Rounded up to the nearest 14 minutes and 50 seconds. What a cheek, dear. Not me, Chris Reardon. I shall get children to do my bulbs in future. Okay, next time I need a bulb done, I'll mention it on here. And if you could send someone round, okay? Come yourself as well. I'll give you a cup of tea while we employed child labour to change my bulbs. It's a good idea, isn't it? Right, well, how did I get onto bulbs? Oh, yes. So I changed those two bulbs. It was a side light in the front and one of the back number plate ones. And the bulbs weren't actually gone, but they were very dim. They were dim. A little bit like James Dean. Now, there's someone who's dim. James Dean. Madam Mary's, Madam Mary's, she's not dim, just old. I mean, that is old, dear. God's sake. That is what you call old, dear. James Dean is just dim. Dim. And he actually was talking to him on the phone the other day, and he says, "Oh, I've been listening to all your shows." Right, here's another one. Obsessed by weight. Obsessed by weight, dear. Anyway, I'll come on to him in a minute. Anyway, so the bulbs were just dim, and when I actually took them out of the fittings, they'd gone all black. So the light was still coming on, not black, silver. Is that some sort of chemical reaction with the gas that's in the light bulb? Come on, technical people, you will know that, my darlings. Technical people, why does the glass go all silver when a bulb goes? Let me know. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. So I managed to change, it was the number plate one and the side light one, so that's all. So I am now fully illuminated, boys and girls. I am fully illuminated once again. Yes. Now, where were we going? Oh, yes. So I came outside when I was changing the bulbs, and there was a trellis table set up. And apparently, all the churches here in Bracknell have got together and they're doing a big do, which is actually this afternoon, over in South Hill Park, where they have a theatre called the Wild Theatre, W-I-L-D-E, in South Hill Park. And they're doing a big thing over there today for families and all that, so that's quite nice. But they were advertising it and they were giving out free drinks. So as I walked past, he said, "Would you like a free drink, sir?" I said, "Oh, yes, please." He said, "Can I give you a leaflet as well?" So I thought, oh, better take the leaflet. I said, "Oh, this is a good idea, for families, and that'd be quite a nice, and it's a free day out." Because, let's face it, a lot of these families, when you've got a mum and dad, 2 or 3 children, that's expensive. And a lot of families can't afford to go to, I don't know, seasides and theme parks and things like that. To take a family to a theme park for a day, it's costing you near on £150, £200, $400 now. It's an awful lot of money. So when these churches and things like that, they do free things, and much respect to the churches for getting together for that. Anyway, so he gave me this free can. He said, "What would you like?" I said, "Well, I'll have a Coke, please." He said, "I've got a Pepsi." So he gave me the Pepsi. And I said, "Thanks ever so much." He said, "So we might see you then." I said, "Well, maybe." I said, "I don't know." I said, "Do you want your drink back if I don't come?" He says, No, of course we don't. Go and take the drink and enjoy it." So that was that. They probably got the drink given to them by the companies, but nevertheless very grateful for a free drink. Anyway, I got in the car and I thought, just before I take off, I opened the can and I looked at it and I thought, what a blooming cheat. Give me a Diet Pepsi. A Diet Pepsi. I mean, what's he trying to say? I think he must have been one of the gay ones then, mustn't he? Because if he was a straight boy, he would never have mentioned he was mentioning my weight in a roundabout way, wasn't he? He was. Must have been gay. Because if he was straight, he would never have done. These straight boys, they do not do that. They don't go on about weight, dear. Do they? What a cheek, a Diet Pepsi, of all things, a Diet Pepsi, given to me. I mean, didn't he recognise me from my major global television appearances, as of now? What a Diet Pepsi. Oh, dear. And I don't care what anyone says, they do not taste the same. It had a horrible aftertaste to it. I looked at the back of the can, and how do they do something like that with no calories? I think it was about 1 calorie in the whole... How do they do that? It says fat, nil, salt, nil, sugar, nil. Everything was nil, because there was one thing. I don't know who this bloke is, Neil. He obviously is very important at Pepsi. What's it called? Pepsi? Diet Pepsi. He's obviously very important at Diet Pepsi, because he's got Neil all down the back. Keeps mentioning his name. Who is this person? I don't know. Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk is the email address. All right. Sheila. Here's someone I haven't heard from for ages and ages. Hello, Sheila. All right, my darling. Hello, Sheila. She says, congratulations on the 300th show. Have not written in a while. Hope you're doing fine. I am not at my normal computer, so this will not be a correct... So this will be a not so correct email. Anyway, we'll be listening. Hope life treats you well. And that's from Sheila. Nice to hear from you, my darling. Don't be a stranger, Sheila. Just because you don't or haven't got the time to write reams and reams of lines, just a few lines. Hello, it's Sheila. Hope you're well. This is what I've been doing. We'd like to know what's going on in the world, dear. All right. Thank you, Sheila. Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Now... what have we got here? Just a minute now. Let me have a quick look. Ah, yes, there we are. Ross. No, let's do Ross in a second. Oh, yes, I want to do this one now because in front of me here, where is it now? Carl in Yorkshire has sent me a little MP3. Now, Joy's wondered... Oh, it's all right, Joy. Stop panicking. I'm going to tell you, dear, what it is. Oh, Joy. Oh, she gets ever so upset when I go into technical things. I'm going to tell you. Joy hasn't been able to listen for a while. We've had a bit of a problem with the satellite side of things, Joy, haven't we? So hopefully you will have received, by the time you're hearing this show, you will have received a couple of little DVDs in the post, all right? Unfortunately, Joy, if you don't know who Joy is, if you're a new person to the show, welcome along. Everyone's a friend here, dear. Everyone's a friend here. Joy is a lady of slightly advanced years, and she listens via satellite here in the UK. Now, unfortunately, sometimes the satellite doesn't shove out the programme correctly. Sometimes it puts the wrong programme on. Sometimes there's music. Sometimes there's nothing at all. So it's unfortunately it's a bit hit and miss. I don't know why it is. It's just one of those things that I've kind of grown to accept now. I do let them know when it goes wrong, and I kind of leave it in their hands. There's nothing else I can do, really, Joy. But when she doesn't hear it for a while, she can't actually see the show. She doesn't have a computer. So I do like to just stick a couple of shows now and again at enormous expense to me, Joy. And if I carry on sending you DVDs, dear, I'm going to have to sell one of my properties. I will have to sell one of them to continue to sell. Sometimes I put the show on a DVD. Well, I think we can actually fit 2 shows now on a DVD, and I send them off to Joy. So I hope you enjoy watching those, Joy. And indeed, I think I'll do the same with this one, okay? And I'll tell you why, because I want you to see my nice shirt. I'm wearing a nice orange striped shirt today. It's very nice, dear. Very nice. Now, Carl has sent in an MP3. Now, what is an MP3, Joy? It is like a little recording, okay? It's like a recording. Someone records something, a voice, on their computer and sends it to me in the post, i.e. an email. Okay? And Carl has sent a little MP3. It's funny, actually. 2 MP3. We've never had MP3s from people before, and then suddenly 2. They're coming along like buses, these MP3s. They really are, dear. And we were talking a while ago about accents. And Carl writes... Unfortunately, I did not manage to perfect my Cockney accent. However, now that your listeners and viewers have had the chance to learn one English accent, i.e. mine, I thought they might like to learn Yorkshire. In order to make it easier, I have kept the same sentence you used in your lesson. Here is the sentence written out, and the sentence is, up, lad. Where's to Chippy? Okay? Now, in the south of England, we would be saying, excuse me, can you tell me where the local chip shop is? In Yorkshire terms, it is, up, lad. Where's to Chippy? Or, here it is now, coming from Carl in that Yorkshire accent. Here we go.
Hey up, lad. Where's Chippy?
Okay? Now, do you want to try that? Do you want to try that one? You're going to learn a bit of Yorkshire today. Right, ready? Here we go again.
Hey up, lad. Where's Chippy?
Let's try it. Hey up, lad. Where's Chippy? Try again.
Hey up, lad. Where's Chippy?
Oh, sorry, I put a T in there, didn't I? Try again. Hey up, lad. Where's Chippy? One more time.
Hey up, lad. Where's Chippy?
All right, so thank you very much for that, Carl. If you ever want to send in a short MP3, okay, please make it no longer than 5 meg. I think that's all the email system will handle, 5 meg, unless you want to use sendit.com or something else like that to send it through. 5 meg, Joy, incidentally, by the way. 5 meg, that is the size of the piece of sound that is sending. I can, let me think how to explain that. Okay, my email system, the system that receives all the emails, Joy, is so big. All right, and it will only accept, that's it, the letterbox is only so big and can only receive letters of a certain size. In this case, the size is 5 meg, okay? So if someone sent me an email that was 6 meg, it might not get through the letterbox. So anyone who wants to send an MP3 of any sort, any time, please feel free to send it through. Usual email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, right? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. So thank you for that, Carl. Nice to have a little MP3 in there. Carl also sent me, I think it was Carl or Joe, sent me information through that could be used to have like a phone-in thing. So I will look at that. But of course, the program isn't live in most cases, so a bit difficult to do that, all right? Now, here we go. We have two emails from Ross P. Now, you remember Ross P? He's recently started doing a talk podcast as well. I did say to you we would try and get him on the show, and I did speak to him, but he wants to do a few more shows before he comes in and talks about it. He wants to get into the swing, shall we say, into the swing. So thank you, Ross. And he sends a little, again, this is our second MP3 we've had ever in the whole history of the programme. He sends a little birthday message MP3. Here it is.
Hello, Chris. It's Ross Patzel from Norwich. So I've got to be a bit quiet because Donna's in the bath. She doesn't know I do all this stuff, does she?
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, I'm just talking to someone. Yeah, I'm just talking to someone. Yes, I've got to be a bit quiet. Anyway, I heard Suko say that it's your 300th show today. I can't believe it. You've actually talked for 300 hours solidly, non-stop. Is that possible? I think we should get you into the Guinness Book of Records for 300 hours solid talking. And you still haven't lost your voice, have you? Anyway, congratulations, Chris, on doing 300 shows. And I look forward to the next 300, as I always say. Wow, I don't really, because I've not got 300 hours to listen to you. But I've enjoyed the last 300 shows, or what I've heard of them. So, anyway, I've got to go, because I think
Can you come and scrub my back, please?
Yeah, all right, yeah, I'll come and scrub your back. Anyway, I've got to go, Chris. But congratulations on the show. Love you lots.
Oh, yeah, there's Ross P there. Was that his girlfriend, really, do you think? And she got a squeaky voice. Because Ross, he does these podcasts. I don't think she knows he's doing them. I honestly don't think she knows he's doing them. So thanks for that, Ross. That's much appreciated. And yes, love to get you on the show soon and talk about your little podcast there as well, okay? He also wrote in here about Thursday's show just gone. He said, I just heard Thursday's show, and on the subject of Joe emailing you saying I keep my podcast a secret from Donna. What a cheek, he says. No, it wasn't Joe who said it. It was me, dear. It was me. She knows about my geek casts, as she calls it. Oh, does she know what she says? What a cheek. Geek cast. Is that what we're doing? Geek casts. How dare she? Oh, what a liberty that is! Hang on, let me just do some things here. Yeah, what a geek! You bring her to that. You bring her to that computer now. Come on, bring her to the computer. I'm not having that, dear. Hurry up! Go and get her. Not waiting all day. Come on, get on with it. Is she there yet? Go and get. Don't sit there saying, "Oh, I'm not." Yeah, you go and get her. Right. So you're there now, are you, Donna? What do you? What's all this about Ross doing geek casts? Is this a geek cast as well? No, this isn't, Donna. This is not a geek cast, dear. This is an international, global television production, dear. International television and radio production. How dare you? Geek cast? It's a liberty, that's it. And by the way, your cooking's rubbish. Right, on we go then. I mean, she's got a cheek, that Donna, I tell you. She knows about my geek cast, as she calls it, but she's too busy watching. Are you ready for this? This is the intelligence of Donna, right? She watches Big Brother. I mean, it says it all, dear. It says it all, Donna. You sit there watching Big Brother while we continue to do our geek casts then. All right? What a cheek. Geek cast? She says Ross says she's too busy watching Big Brother to be interested in what I'm blabbering about on my shows. Chris, you know I love you and your show, but please stop clearing your throat on the show as it's rank. And he says, all the breast. All the breast? You mean all the best? Roscoe MBE. Roscoe. Yeah, I know about the throat clearing, Ross. As you know, I've got this button here. I flick this, and you can't hear it. It all goes dead. Of course, people watching on the YouTube or the current TV or the Blip TV or the Google video, they do see me doing something, but they too can't hear it when I do this. But unfortunately, when I'm outside doing the show in the garden, I don't have a button like that, and it all comes to... I don't know if it's something that I'll ever overcome, actually, the whole throat clearing thing. It does build up. Sometimes it's worse than others. I will say it does seem to get better as the show goes on. Sort of at the beginning of the show, it starts... But as the show goes on, it gets better. Maybe I should sort of do a 15-minute pre-show where I just sit here talking to myself. And then by then, perhaps it will have sorted itself out. I don't know. Anyway, nice to hear from you, Ross. Thanks for the MP3 very much, okay? Oh, I've just got an email come through here. Also from someone who watches the show on the YouTube. And it was about my uncle. It's such a small world. You heard me read the email out from someone else who watched the show on YouTube. Now, my uncle and my aunt, Uncle Michael, who passed away just a few weeks ago now, leaving my aunt Renee, and indeed my cousin Susan. Susan doesn't live with Renee. She has a partner now who she lives with. It's actually quite nice. Susan is quite nice because Susan is older than me. So I'm not the oldest. I'm quite... Do you know what I mean? When you get to a certain age and there's a member of your family that's older, so I'm quite pleased about that. But, yeah, Michael died a few weeks ago and I mentioned it on the show. And him and my Aunt Renee and my cousin Susan, they run a agency for dance, young people to learn dancing called Super Arts. And I was telling you all about it on one of the previous shows. And we already had one email in from one of the children that used to go to the school who just happened to type in Super Arts on YouTube. And she came across my show and heard all about, well, she knew about the uncle. She just typed in and didn't realise that I was like Michael's nephew. And another email, literally while I've been doing the show, has just popped in here, which I want to read you. And it's from Blizzo4. That's the username. I don't know if Blizzo is the... Bills. I beg your pardon, Bilzo. Bills04 is the username. I'm not know is your name Bill or Billzo? I'm not sure. But the email says, I was so shocked when I heard the news about Michael. My thoughts are with Renee and Susan. And here we go. This is about my uncle. Mike was the kindest person ever. I was a student at Super Arts Dance School and will truly miss him, as will everyone else who knew him. I only heard of his passing a few days ago. I really hope his family are okay. So that's a lovely email for someone to send, and I will, of course, as soon as I finish the show today, I'll ring up my auntie and read that down the phone to her. I am going to be going around there hopefully at some point, only for a free meal, because Renee doesn't watch the show, but Renee, you know, you've only got to throw the offer of a free meal in my face and I'll be round there like a shot, my love. My Aunt Renee, she's a blooming good cook. I think we went around there when I was very little. We went round there a few times. But in recent years, I suppose I've only been round her house twice in the last 25 years. Honestly, twice. Once for the funeral and once before, a couple of years ago, just shortly after Mum died, actually. And she invited me around. She's a fantastic cook, Auntie Renee. She does comfort food. She don't muck about with any of those noodles or anything like that, Suko. We do comfort food, roast beef and all that. Oh, we love it. All right, so I'll pass that on. Thank you very much for that email. Where are we going now? Let me just check here. Don't want to get lost here. Okay, yes, here we go. It's Monica. It's our friend Monica in Spain. She says, "Hi, Chris, how are you? I'm finally back from my holidays. Yes, at last, dear. You seem to have been away forever. It's all very well, you people being able to afford holidays that go on and on. There's me, I'm lucky to take an hour off now and again, dear. Lucky to take an hour off." She says, "As you know, I went to Italy. Italia! Just like a mama used to make Italia. We love Italia. I went to Italy to see my family, who I found more or less okay, although I must say my dad looked so much older to me." When's the last time you saw him, my darling? Isn't it? You know, it's funny, I never really noticed my mum age until she was in the hospital just before she passed on. It's funny that, isn't it? You don't sometimes see, but you say your daddy's looking older. She says, "And afterwards, we went to Scotland. It means I switched from scorching hot weather to rain and low temperatures, but that's fine. I preferred the latter. Oh no, I like the hot weather, dear. I like the hot weather. Scotland was as beautiful as I remembered it, and it was funny to see it through the eyes of the friend who came with me, who had never been there or indeed anywhere in the UK. We stayed in Edinburgh in a hotel that I can recommend, the Albany Ballantrae, for the nice staff, quiet area and proximity to the centre. The room, decorated in black gothic style, was very comfortable, and we had a lot of fun about the fact that it had a name. The room had a name, Randolph. Even the staff knew it better by its name than by its number. We didn't try haggis, but had the typical fish and chips and cottage pie. Oh, that sounds nice. Plus an endless number of cakes of all sorts, especially carrot cake we like, yes. People there were... What is that stuff? You know, they put like a cream stuff on top of carrot cake, don't they? Is that carrot? What is the ingredients for carrot cake? I'm not quite sure. People there were really friendly, which I'm afraid I can't say of other places I've been to in the UK. Yeah, I agree with you. London, I don't think is particularly friendly, is it? And I love their accent. By the way, I was really surprised when they told me I had an Irish accent. I've only been to Ireland once, and it was a long time ago, she says. I wonder where I got that from. We also managed to go on a tour of the Highlands. Beautiful. Oh, if you come to the UK, right, it's a long trek if you come into London. Go to the Scottish Highlands for a tour. Beautiful, stunning countryside. There's somewhere I'd like to live. If I found the right person to live with, I'd quite happily move to the Scottish Highlands, I think, and live up. Beautiful place. She says, with a company I can remember, Rabbi's Tours, Rabbies, Rabbi's Tours. Our guide driver was really nice and provided a lot of information and humour as we drove away. I love Glencoe and the wonderful scenery along the way, and really I wish I had time to go there and ramble or cycle in that area. Yeah, it's a lovely place to go walking. Monica goes on to say, Edinburgh is a stunning city, and due to the Fringe Festival, the atmosphere was great. Now, I know people that have performed at the Fringe Festival, and they hated it. Isn't that funny? I know there's 3 performers I know that have done the Fringe Festival and hated it. Now, these people are fairly well known on the particular circuit that I work on. And I wonder sometimes, and myself as well, I suppose, to a point, when you're DJing in the same place and another offer is made, you tend to stay where you are because you're in that comfort zone. Come out of it and you don't like it. I know a lot of people like that. I mean, I'm not too bad. I will go and try other things. I like to try other things. But I wonder if that's the case there. Those people that didn't enjoy the Fringe Festival, of course, they've come out of the comfort zone, haven't they? I only resent, she says, the monstrous business revolving around tartans and other stereotypes like Nessie the Monster. Wherever you go, there are shops selling all kinds of objects and toys related to Scotland. There were people from all over the world, but especially US Americans, looking for their roots and purchasing tartan pattern stuff of the clan their family supposedly descended from. Now, I'm going to have to leave it there because I've run out of time. So we'll kick off the next show with the other half of that email. As always, thanks for listening and watching the show today. Show number 301, 302 coming up. See you soon. From myself, Chris Reardon. See you soon. Bye-bye now.